What is up, familia? We are live for an impromptu Ask Me Anything, answering your content marketing questions. And this is something that we have been wanting to do for a while. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Christopher Michael Harris. And I was going to say something else. And then I caught myself. But I'm so excited.
I
We've
know what
been
you were going to say. Now everybody's going to be curious what you're going to say now. Is it not YouTube appropriate?
No, it's not that. I
Okay.
I always get stuck like calling you my husband and then my business partner, and I don't know which one to say first. So I
Mm.
was gonna be like my husband partner. Like, no,
Oh, so
that's
yeah,
just
it was
not
just
gonna
going to be a
work.
hodgepodge of a
Yeah,
word, a jumble word.
exactly. Oh my gosh. So we've had the team collect some of the questions that you guys have been sharing on some of our YouTube videos. And I often don't get the chance, and Chris doesn't often get the chance to respond to every single one because there's a lot and there's just two of us. Plus,
Yeah.
we're doing all the business things. So we try to at least host these ever so often for you guys. And I think it's been like 2 years since we did the last one, Chris. So we've been totally slacking.
Yeah. Well, what was crazy to see is just reading through the comments. These guys were just shooting their shot all day at Kim.
That's so funny.
I
We were
mean, just
literally just
shoot.
talking
They
about
were
that.
caking hard in the comments. I mean, if you go back like 10 years, they were still shooting their shot. It's crazy.
Well, now that you're on the channel, I don't think that'll happen as often, but it is
I
really.
scared them. I scared the shooters away.
What's funny is it's the cheesiest stuff that like makes no sense at all. It's like
Yeah.
I just totally ignore that. So funny.
Yes. Somebody said you should do hypnotherapy, and yeah, there was a few that were kind of
What?
funny.
Really?
Yeah, it's like your voice. Yeah, people went on about your voice for a while.
Oh,
Anyways.
because the
Yeah.
voice thing. Yeah, that's funny. That's actually funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's really funny to me is the fact that oftentimes we'll have people like YouTube is such an interesting place, you guys. It's such an interesting place. I love it. And then there's the part like there's like that 10-20% that you kind of like just hate it, right? Because people comment like they're talking to other people about you on your video, which
It's
is so
weird.
weird. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna read this though, right? Like,
Yeah.
like they will use like the whole like it's funny. They'll be like, she has like the worst possible mannerisms, and like, okay, like what do I say
Yeah.
to that?
Yeah. Some guy said you were like making Masonic like hand gestures. He's like, be careful with
Yeah,
that.
be careful. Like, wow. Like I could not be
But
like
no,
that. I'm the
but
opposite of that, but that's funny.
yeah. But you're right though, because people will comment like they're not responding to your video.
No,
Like
right,
they're trying
right.
to start like you're not gonna see it. It's the most bizarre. I would love to see like a psychological take on that. Like,
I
what's the
know.
psychology going on there?
You know what
That would
I
just be
think it
so
is?
funny.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just like the fact that you're not in person. Like
Yeah,
it's
right,
the
right,
whole social
right,
media scenario, right?
right,
Like, cause you're not
right,
there in person. So like you're in a room by yourself or like with your family or whatever. And so you're commenting to other people and you think like you're
right.
in a room with just those people and you're watching on the TV, but
Yeah,
that's not what's happening.
exactly. Yeah, like you're literally watching TV. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, so funny.
By the way, if you're watching live, tell us
Yeah.
where you're watching from and what kind of business you run. I see there's
Yes.
a few people already hopped on that are watching live. So tell us
Sweet.
who you are, what you do, where you come from.
Yeah, would love to connect with you guys too. And also drop your questions if you have any like content
Yeah,
questions, business,
exactly.
marketing, ask me anything. Um, as long as we oh my goodness, hold on. I just I just played the video just to see the chat. I can just hear myself. So we're good to go. Okay, we're good to go. One of the things that I wanted to kick off with, Chris, is just the fact that there's going to be like a variety of questions in this, right? Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of different questions. They're coming from different videos, and so some we have video, references to. Others we don't. Some of them are from a video that you guys have Instagram messaged me on, so I'll have
Mhm.
those pulled up too. So we're just gonna kind of go through like rapid fire style.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's the first one?
Okay. This one is a quick and easy one. I love your tutorials. What program are you using to record your screen?
Ooh, Ooh, okay, good stuff. First of all, thank you. That's very sweet. I so appreciate you guys. Um, I use two tools that I love. So number one is Screencast-O-Matic. Okay, sorry, scratch that. It's ScreenPal now. ScreenPal.com, which is so much better. Such a better name.
Green Pal, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So screenpal.com.
yeah,
And I use that one all the time inside the business lounge for recording tutorials and training and, content for the paid side of our business. But I also use it on the channel quite often. Recently, though, I think the last like since 2021, I actually started using Ecamm Live for
mm,
most of what we record on the channel, as well as videos for other things like courses, sales pages, you name it. But what I like about Screencast, guys, I can't. What I like about ScreenPal is that it's really easy to use and it's also very inexpensive. The cool thing about Ecamm is that you can use it for live. It's what I'm using right now for this live
yeah,
stream. But then you can also go back and forth between your face and the screen. So I have a stream deck right here. I don't know if I can pull it for you guys to see. I don't think it reaches. Okay, we will do
yeah.
that later.
Everything's
But
gonna unplug and turn
I know,
off.
right? Yeah, not good. Not a good idea. Yeah, I should install like a GoCam so that I can show them our setup. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
so it's basically just like a bunch, it's just like a keypad. It just has a bunch of keys. And so the buttons will help me go, you know, back and forth between different camera angles. So I can go from the screen to actually showing my face to going full screen to showing picture in picture, which means like the little camera on the corner of the screen. So I
Yeah.
really like that if we're going to do, I'm going to send it to our editor. So we'll use Ecamm and then ScreenPal. I love both of them. I use them almost every single day. So hope
Cool.
that helps. Oh, and I think we have a full tutorial on the channel on Ecamm and on
I
ScreenPal.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys go to the little search bubble, go to the channel, then go to the little search bubble, you can type in Ecamm or video recording and you'll find two videos.
Cool. Okay. So another kind of easy question here to answer. So this person has multiple clients,
Hmm.
and this is from one of the Trello videos.
Okay, cool.
Would I just create multiple Trello boards if I have several clients? Is the question.
That's great question. Absolutely. I think that's probably from our CRM tutorial, like how to use Trello as a CRM. I
As a
think.
CRM, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, absolutely. You would just create, just depending on how you manage it, right? So for some people, having a full board for each client doesn't make a lot of sense because it's not a very involved transaction or it's not a very involved workflow or a very involved process. So you don't necessarily need to have a full board for each individual client. But if you're working on an ongoing basis with clients, or maybe like you're doing stuff like you're a social media marketing agency, or you're doing coaching and consulting, or you're doing web design, or app design, anything that's going to require an actual project board where you have multiple tasks and maybe multiple sub projects for the client, and you want to add them to have access to that. Maybe they need approval from you, or you need approval from them. Maybe you need to, collaborate with a client. All of those are really good reasons to have multiple boards for each client. And that's actually how I got started on Trello, was just to manage our client workload when we had a social media marketing agency back in
Let's
2013,
say
10
long,
years
long
ago.
time ago.
Cool.
Okay, cool. We got some different questions, and some of these I will pull your name.
Okay.
YouTube switched to your handle now instead of your
That's
name. It
right.
used to show your name, now it shows your handle. So some of the handles are just crazy, and it's like I don't know how to pronounce some of these.
You're
But
fine.
if I did find one that was something that I can pronounce, then I will give you a shout out with your handle.
Cool.
So this is from at Jeff Gaudet 8183. He says, "What type of pen are you using on the?" And this was from the Full Focus Planner video. I don't know if he means a
Oh,
digital pen, like for your
yeah.
tablet.
No,
Were
no,
you
no.
using a tablet pen, or were you using
Yeah.
just like a pen
He's
pen?
Right. He's talking about the friction pens that I love using. It's so funny. You guys are hilarious. I ever so often will get a comment on multiple different tools or things that I recommend, and people are like, "Are you still using CoSchedule? Are you still using Trello? Are you still using the friction pens?" Sometimes you guys will DM me just to ask me that. It's so hilarious. But yes, most of the, okay, here's something about me, you guys. I love recommending tools and resources that I fall in love with, and like that's the thing I'm using. So a lot of
Yeah.
you guys will know from being a part of the channel for 10 years that I jumped on Canva. Like one of the first breakout videos
Oh,
we ever
yeah.
had was Canva,
100%.
right?
Because you're creating graphics on PowerPoint.
A PowerPoint, because we didn't have Canva
Yeah.
before.
So
Oh, that's
Canva
how
was
you
like a
like.
dream come true.
Listen, this OG, okay? Like this is the real deal over here. I cannot. I got an email last week from Canva celebrating my 10th birthday on the app. I
That's
was like,
crazy.
that's crazy. So when I'm recommending stuff on the channel, it's stuff that we use that we're just loving. It's very rare that we will switch over to a different tool because it's hard for me to find tools that I like better, and I get so many pitches
Yeah.
on tools every single day, and
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
telling
Yeah.
you, I review them constantly and I'm like, nope, not as good. So when I'm recommending something that's hardcore, so yes, the friction pens are still actually I
I
said
don't even know what a friction pen is.
yes, you do. I buy them for you.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah. Okay. I
these.
do know. I
Yeah, it's
use
the
those.
erasable
Yeah.
pens.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what people like about them. I love this about them actually. So this is for the full focus planner. So if you're the kind of
Right.
person that likes erasing or makes mistakes with ink, or you're afraid to use a planner because of the ink, this is a great solution.
Cool. Okay. Next question. What microphone are you using? It seems really crisp, or you have a great audio tech.
Ooh, thank you. I do have a good audio tech, but I think more than having a good audio tech, you need to start, like the audio tech would tell you, you got to start with really good hardware.
Yeah.
So Chris, this is actually your expertise. You were the one who got me on this.
Yeah. Hardware does make a huge difference when it comes to the quality of your audio.
Yeah.
Um, so the microphone that you choose, I remember when I bought my first microphone, it was just I think I was using your old Snowball, the Yeti
That's
Snowball.
right. That's
Yeah, and it was
right.
the reverb and the echo was so bad. I had to sit in the closet and record episodes because otherwise it just sounded like I was just in a cave.
Yeah.
And so I bought all the like acoustic panels, those like black little things you put over the wall and stuff. And like I just wasted a lot of money on those, honestly. It really when it
We
comes to
tried so hard
microphone
though.
quality, it really does matter.
Mhm.
There's a lot that we recommend. We're actually gonna be doing some and let me know in the comments, on the
Yeah.
live chat if you guys, for those that are watching live, let me know if you'd be interested for me to do some microphone reviews for you if you're planning on audio content like a podcast or YouTube or even doing reels, and whatever you're like short form
Mhm.
content. It
Mhm.
really does make a difference if you have a microphone. It's studies have shown, and I don't want to get too like in the weeds on this, but studies have shown that people will listen if it's good audio quality, or rather, I'm sorry, the other way around. They'll listen if it's good audio but bad video, right? Did I say that
Mhm.
right? I think so. That's
Yeah,
what the
they'll
studies have
watch
shown.
the video even if it's terrible video quality because the
There you
audio is
go.
good.
Right. Yeah. If the terrible video quality, but good audio quality, they'll still tune in. If the inverse is true, meaning the video is great, but the audio is terrible, they won't tune in. It's like nails on a
Right.
chalkboard. It's like, oh my God, I can't even listen to this.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people have tuned in and said they'll watch our stuff. Like many people are commenting on Kim's videos about her voice, her voice, her voice. And honestly, a lot of it has to do with just investing in a good quality microphone. So let us know in the
Mhm.
comments, whether you're watching live or the replay, if you would be interested in having more deep dive on like good quality, how to find a good microphone, how much to spend, what's too much to spend, how to get started with a microphone.
Yeah.
But all that to say, let me get to the matter at hand. I'm using the Shure SM7B. This is the infamous, this is the one that Michael Jackson used to record the album Thriller. That's what it's known for. This is an XLR microphone, and that basically means like you can't just plug it into your laptop with a USB cord and go. There are other components required. So in my particular case, I'm running to a Rodecaster Pro, the second version, And then I'm going from that into my computer. So there's a little bit of additional components that are kind of expensive. Kim's using the Shure MV7, which is kind of like
The baby
was like
version.
a cheaper version of the microphone, but
Mhm.
it's for whatever reason, Kim's voice just sounded great on it.
Yeah.
Kim's voice did not sound good on the SM7B, but it sounded great on the MV7. So that's gonna happen. You're gonna play
Yeah.
around with different mics and be like, "Yeah, this one doesn't
Yeah.
sound good for me. This one sounds good for me," and it's kind of hit or miss.
I agree, but the voice thing is really important too because guys, at one point, so I have an entire equipment guide inside the business lounge for our members when 2020 happened and everyone was going virtual. We did an entire just equipment guide, and I literally bought 12 microphones to test out just because I wanted to upgrade my own setup.
Yeah,
And I
we went
returned them.
nuts.
We didn't keep them. Well, we
Yeah.
kept too many of them, but we used them a lot for the channel. But we went nuts. And the thing is, like, Chris, is this true or not true? I literally sound different in every microphone.
Every single mic.
It's
And most
so
of them you didn't
crazy.
like it. And we
I
were like,
didn't
"Well, that's
like it.
crazy. This is supposed to be the best microphone on the market."
Exactly. I was like the
Yeah,
Pod mic, the Rodecaster, the Shure
it's
SM7B,
true.
the what else did I try? Oh, the SM is this
Oh,
SM58?
SM58.
The
Yeah,
SM58, I love that one. I still have that one. That's what we use for interviews.
that
But
was a Shure. That's a
that
Shure
was a
mic.
Shure. But it was $100 mic that
We
sounded a
tried.
million times better than
Mhm.
the actual what was the first mic you're talking about that we hate? The Snowball.
Yeah, okay, so I think the blue mics are really
Yeah,
overrated. The
they
Yeti
are.
and the Snowball, they do a great job marketing, but I think
Yeah,
they're really overrated.
they are.
Not that this is not what you asked. This person specifically asked what microphone you were
Yeah,
using,
which is this that's
which is
Shure.
the Shure which is yeah, which is
MV7.
the Shure MV7. I'm pretty sure it's the MV7.
Mhm.
But what I would recommend to look into if you're looking for a newbie mic, I would just go USB. Don't mess
Yeah.
around with all the additional components. You don't need to
Yeah.
do XLR cables. You don't need to go fancy pantsy. What
Right.
I would do is I would look into Audio Technica mics. That would be my starting point. I think Audio Technica, pound for pound, next to entry level, next to a blue mic, there's no comparison.
I
They sound
agree.
fantastic.
Isn't the Audio
Um,
Technica like the similar price point or even cheaper?
yeah, they're even cheaper. Some of the
It's
Audio
great.
Technica mics are actually cheaper than the Yeti, like half the price, like 50
Yeah.
or $60
Right.
for an Audio Technica mic, and you can just get a nice little stand for it and just go. So you could actually, in some cases, do two Audio Technica mics that are like the handheld mics, you know? So if you have like an interview show you're trying to launch and you're going to be doing in-person interviews, you can use it for your home setup with a nice stand. It's USB. Some of them have both. They'll have USB or XLR, so you can grow into it if you want to add the additional components. But I really like newbies to start with a nice little USB mic. Again, like $50. It's a really good way to go. And they've actually done a great job, I think, of packaging additional components. Like it comes with a stand, it
That's
comes with
right.
the cables, it comes with different things that I think are really cool, like a travel pouch, right?
Mhm.
Whereas this microphone is amazing, but it doesn't even come with the cables. I
Yeah.
had to pay 50 to
That's right.
$100 just for these Mogami Gold cables, just so the stupid thing would work. Then I got to run it into my Rodecaster Pro, which is $600. Like it's
It's a lot.
crazy.
When we started, we didn't have that kind of cash. So I totally
No.
get it. And one of the things that I would, Chris, you have to do a tech series on the channel because
All right, I'll
you
do. All
you
right,
know
all right.
all the.
I'll do a
We
tech
have a
series.
bunch of. By the way, can you link some of the videos from your channel here? Because you've done a ton of reviews on
Yeah.
microphones that are really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of the things that I think is so important is just like using what you have, right? Like, I don't want you to ever feel whenever we talk about tech, I worry sometimes because you're seeing a $20,000 setup, right? Like
Yeah.
10 years later. And we
Yeah.
didn't start that way. So I
No.
always love to stress out to you guys like you do not need to spend a ton of money to create amazing content. You do not need to just break the bank in order to have
Yeah.
really awesome tech. Like upgrade as you go and reinvest in your business as you become profitable. But I love that you're always sharing like high-end options but also entry-level
Yeah.
options because there's
There,
different budgets.
there's also an amazing Rode mic that plugs right into the bottom of your cell phone of your iPhone,
Yes, I have that one.
and it's plugged in with the lightning adapter, like the iPhone, which I guess they're getting rid of now.
I
But
have
you
it right
just pop
here.
it right in the bottom. There you go. That one.
Yeah.
That's such an amazing solution if you're just creating a nice little story or a reel with your phone, right? You're just doing
Yeah.
like a selfie mode type situation,
Yep.
your audio is going to sound so much better than everybody else that I think it's going to like stand out just because it sounds so much crispier than
Right.
something else would if you were just going into your microphone on your built-in mic on your device.
Yeah. And this is really good for like on the go interviews like this.
Yeah.
And also,
Uh-huh.
I know that this is not like ideal, but if you go in your closet, you can record a podcast with this mic.
Solidly.
It's awesome. And the
Yeah.
fact that the iPhone is so good at
Yeah.
recording quality, you could do that. Now, let me look for the actual name because I know someone's going to ask for the name.
Yeah, I know.
But it's a
And I can't, by
Shure.
the way, I'll have to link those after the videos that I've done on microphones. I am going to do some
Okay.
updated ones because I'm watching the live chat on Kim's channel, so I can't toggle over because I'll lose
Yeah,
that.
no worries.
So I will include that later. And I'm going to do some updated microphone videos as well that I think are going to be beneficial.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Now,
no,
one caveat with this, it's expensive. It's more
is it?
expensive than if you just bought, it's like $200. Or
Oh
at
my
least when I
gosh, I
bought
didn't
it.
know that.
I know, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't
So
know
like
that. I
you
think
can
you
buy
purchased
like
that one.
2 microphones or 3 microphones with that budget.
At the end of
However,
the
it's
day,
good.
though, I know people ask a lot about tech stack and microphones and stuff.
Hmm.
Please don't let that stop you from recording content or putting out content. I think there's too many people. This is a true story. We have seriously helped people go spend thousands of dollars to get a setup, and then they don't end up recording content
No,
because
I
they don't see
know.
it like work, like it doesn't take off like they thought, or, they're struggling with
Hmm.
consistency or, whatever. Like I would rather see you be consistent and get results because you will get results by just
Yeah.
being consistent and putting out relevant content for your industry. I'd rather you work on those strategies than to be like, oh, I've got the fancy pants Michael Jackson microphone. Like you'll grow into
Exactly.
that. And it's totally, I think specifically now, that's the expectation is like
Yeah.
content on the go, grab your phone and go.
Yeah.
That I think
Impersonal,
people overlook it more
unstructured.
than they maybe used to.
Absolutely. Like imperfect is relatable. So I think
Yeah,
that's
perfectly
important.
imperfect.
Totally. By
Yeah.
the way, it's the Shure MV88 portable
Okay.
iOS microphone, and it's
That
only
makes
for
sense. I thought it was a
iOS.
Rode product.
Yeah, no. It's a Shure product, but and I can see why you would think this was Rode for sure. It looks like a
Yeah,
Rode
Rode
product.
usually does stuff like that.
Um,
So you said the Shure
Shure
MV88?
Shure MV88, and I'm
Okay.
like, is this only for Apple? I think it's only for Apple. They
Yeah, no, no,
might
no.
make
It's
an Android
definitely only
version.
for app.
It's only
Yeah,
for
because it
Apple.
has the lightning connection.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just
And
wondering if they made one for Android too.
yeah, no, they
I don't
should.
think they. I don't think they do.
Okay.
Anyway,
Moving on to the next question here.
cool.
Do you use Notion? I saw this a lot. People asking about Notion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use Notion for content planning or for anything? And what are your thoughts? We need to do a Notion
I
video. I think
know.
we
I
need to
just
have you
need
do
to
a
do a
Notion
Notion
video on the
video.
channel. People have been asking forever. We just needed to have
They
you do a
have.
tutorial.
So funny. Okay. See, my problem is that I only like sharing tools that I'm using because I'm
Yeah.
okay. Because this is the problem with YouTube. If you put something out and you're not the ultimate expert on it,
Oh, they'll
people
kill
will
you.
troll you till
Uh-huh.
kingdom come. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Like, it doesn't matter if you have on the
It's
title,
true.
it's for beginners or it's just for this one thing. They're like, you're using it wrong.
Yeah.
And it'll be this like whole thing. I love Notion. I have used Notion for a little while. I think it's a phenomenal tool. A lot of people love it, and for good reason. It's so versatile. You can do so much with it. So, yes, I think it's fantastic for content planning. I think any tool that you will use, that's Tiger, by the way, in the background, our dog, one of our dogs. Anything that you will actually use to create content that will help you create content
Yeah.
faster, that will help you stay consistent, that will help you actually get it done in a more efficient way, I'm all for. So Notion's fantastic. We love Trello, and we recently not recently, it's been like what, a year and a half now?
Yeah, probably about a year and a half.
Yeah, we moved over to ClickUp, and I haven't shared that on the channel yet because I feel like people are going to freak out.
They are.
But we still use Trello. We just use ClickUp for a lot of our project management because they've just leveled up like crazy. We
But
love
that doesn't
ClickUp.
mean Trello's not a good product. It means that we kind of
No,
outgrew Trello a little bit.
we outgrew Trello for sure.
But it's still more than viable tool for like 99% of business owners.
Absolutely. But we still run the majority of our content.
Correct.
Our content
Yeah.
banks are a lot of the content repositories that we create are still on Trello. We use it every day. Part of our content calendar is still on Trello. We collaborate with our team on Trello. So, it's one of those things where you want to use a tool that works best for you and not stress too much about what everyone else is hyping. So,
Yeah.
lots of ClickUp tutorials coming soon. Hopefully.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cool. What else do
Okay.
we got?
Yeah. So, okay, this one's from at J Davis 2102. I think this is for one of the client avatar videos.
Okay.
She says, I know my avatar should be a parent, specifically a mom. I provide counseling services for teens, but I also want to create a YouTube channel that is geared towards teens. Should I just focus on my blog and creating traffic to my website or jump all into both?
That is so good. So you always want to meet people where they're at. And you really just want to do a little bit of research and figure out, is your ideal client avatar reading blogs more than they're watching YouTube? What I
Yeah.
love about both of the platforms you selected is that they're both discovery platforms.
Yes.
So
You're winning either way.
you're killing it with
You're winning
search.
either way.
Yeah, and this is something that we're going to talk about in our Content to Customers live workshop. Actually, if you haven't signed up for that, please do. It's going to be amazing. We're hosting it next Tuesday, and it's going to really help you go from inconsistent, unclear, and frustrated with your content to actually having the tools and the strategies to show up every single day authentically for your audience, to want to show up so it doesn't feel like a total drudgery. We're also going to share really awesome ways to create your content faster. We're going to be planning 30 days of content ideas. And I'm also going to show you our 5-step blueprint so that you can actually turn followers into buyers consistently. So it's going to be fantastic. That's over at content2customers.co. I think Chris dropped the
Yeah, I
link.
just dropped it in the live.
It's
the
$10
live
to
chat.
attend, you guys. You're going to get all the replays. It's 3 days. It's going to be amazing. So,
Yep.
highly recommend coming over and doing that, because I hear from you guys all the time. You're frustrated with your content. You're not feeling confident with your strategy. And I think that we can actually can we make content great again? Can we do that? Can we please do that? I mean, I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm to the point where I'm like, let's do this. Like, let's actually create content that's profitable. Let's connect with people authentically. Let's know exactly what we need to say, exactly what we need to post to connect with people and make them feel, like excited about what we have to share. So
It's almost like you should put that slogan on a red hat
I
or
know,
something.
right? Something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah, but I think we're going to make it fun. It's going to be exciting. And I feel like we already have a couple hundred people in the group, and we're going to just do it together. We're going to figure out new ideas, new strategies, new ways of getting content done and doing it in a way that is exciting and fun. Like, what if content could be simple? What if content would be enjoyable? What if content could be profitable?
Just saying.
We're on a mission over here to make it all those things. So we're going to show you exactly how to do that. So excited about that. Hey, Bob. Hello. So excited to have you here live. Dude, you're all over. I love it. I love it.
What's up?
Chris, I completely just lapsed on the question.
Yeah.
And
okay.
went into promo mode. Like, sorry, I'm an entrepreneur.
No,
This is what
it's
I
all
do.
good. Shameless plugs. I get it.
What was the question?
She said, basically she knows that her avatar should be a parent, specifically a mom.
Right. We're
But she
talking about
provides
long-form
counseling services for teens.
Yes.
But she also wants to create a YouTube channel that is geared towards teens specifically.
Yes.
So should she just focus on her blog and creating traffic to her website, or jump all into both, meaning blog and YouTube, for both of those specific avatars?
Love it. Okay, so number 1, what's going to be sustainable for you? Number 2, where do your people hang out, right? So figuring those two is really important. The thing that I would love for you to do is to do both. And so eventually. We do it that way, where we have a YouTube video that we optimize for search on YouTube, and then we publish that on our blog, on our website. We write content, same content, just in written form, and then we optimize that for SEO. Most of that gets done by our team now, so you don't have to always do it yourself, or you can outsource it, but the actual creation of the video, right? That's the part that only you can do. And so getting both those traffic channels, explosion. Like,
Huge.
guys, if
For
I didn't do
years.
anything else, right? Like, Chris, you know that this is true.
It's
If we didn't
true.
do anything else, like buy Instagram, buy Facebook, buy
Everything.
all the threads, all the platforms, and we just did YouTube and the blog, we would have a super successful business. Like, it would
The
not
true
even
statement.
hurt us.
We can prove that with numbers. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It's true.
for sure. So, yeah, for
And long
you,
form blog content on our site has been what's always been the staple of any business we've
absolutely.
been involved
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
It has
just to,
been the secret to a large degree.
for sure. Just to give you some encouragement here, we have 5 times the amount of email subscribers that we do Instagram followers. So if you go to my Instagram account, it's a pretty small Instagram account, right? Like, I have like 10, it's not terrible, right? It's like 10,000 people, but we
Yeah.
have like 81,000 on YouTube, and then 50,000, 50 something thousand on our email list. Um, that's something that we accomplish through long form content, through
Yeah.
YouTube, through the blog, through Pinterest, not through Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
So
And I think 60 or 70% of those people on the email list are
our
customers or
customers,
have been customers
exactly.
of
And
50. So 60 or 70% of 50 something thousand.
right. And that's after purging it significantly. The real
Yeah.
number, remember when we switched email marketing tools and I told
I
you we had
think it was in the hundreds.
117,000
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was
subscribers.
over 100.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So
100,000.
117,000 people on our email list. And of course, people unsubscribe through the years. Like I've had this for 10 years, right?
Right.
So know that. And we've purchased it many, many times. But that's what's possible, guys, with long form
Yeah.
and searchable. So you were on the right track. No matter what you decide, you're on the right track.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really, really good track for sure. The only thing that I would add to that is if I was like starting, it sounds like you're kind
Mhm.
of like starting with content
Yes.
creation. If any business that was in, you always think about like what's going to allow me to get stuff out the fastest,
Right.
right? And that is the big allure of social media, and why we do want social media to be a part of your content strategy, because the seamlessness of like boom, 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 I can
Hmm.
just put stuff out, and it's fantastic for
That's
nurturing
true.
people, warming up, building a relationship, stuff like that. What we were talking about before is more like building the email list and conversions, and
Hmm.
definitely the blog and YouTube is great for that. But don't dismiss the value of building relationship on social media. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
But all
I
that to
love,
say,
sorry, go ahead. I
building
love
okay,
this. I
go
love
ahead.
this comment from Faham. It's so, so good. Because it's true.
Yeah, it's not
Building an
affected
email
by the
list is
algorithms. It's true.
right, is a winning strategy because
Yeah.
it's not affected by any algorithm.
And
Absolutely.
and
You
same with your
also
email
own it.
list. And same with your email list.
Hmm.
Get this is a statistic I found. I'll get back on track here in a second. A statistic I pulled recently said 99% of humans open up their email every single day. Almost
Wow.
100%. Until there's a new mechanism of and I think it was like 74% see it as a means to conduct like their affairs, meaning their business and stuff. Like they're paying their bills. It's like it's a professional, type of a setting, right? So they're
Yeah.
there with that intention. Whereas they're getting on
Right.
social media, again, you're building a relationship, but they're there to have fun. They're there to,
Mm-hmm.
to laugh with their friends and to see funny videos and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So it doesn't mean that you're not building a relationship, but it means they're not in the mindset of like I'm here for those specific reasons. So
Yeah.
but anyways, what I was saying was, I probably, if I was starting from scratch on any business right now, I would probably start with the blog because
Yes.
boom, I can just sit and write. I don't have to have the camera. I don't, and for women, I don't have to do the makeup and the hair and make sure
Mm-hmm.
this and this and this. And like
Make sure your
it's a
your
full
house is
get up.
quiet and your kids are not screaming in the background and there's no
Yeah,
pets interrupting.
it's a full get up. Then what you can do is when you like kind of get an idea of what blog topics are working and like what's resonating with people and what's driving your email list, then maybe that gives you an idea on like what videos to create first. So you get a double whammy. So
Mhm.
you've got that content on YouTube that's in that same vein, that same topic, but you also started with that solid blog content first. So in any case, like Kim said, you're doing it right, and the benefit is then you can create micro content down the road, right? From that long form content. And then now you've got your social media content already done,
Mhm.
right? Take little clips for carousels or little clips from the video you create from YouTube videos. And you've got 6 videos to put on to Instagram or on to TikTok or whatever you're on. that's just a good way to maximize your time. And that's more of what we're going to be covering, by the way, in the content to customers workshop next week.
Love it.
Is kind of how to get a content system working for you, and then turn more of those people into customers. So that's definitely a relevant topic for you if you're interested in such a thing. That's what we're doing next week.
Sweet. All right,
Cool.
Chris. Couple more and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of blogs, then somebody asked, how long does it take you to write one blog post? It seems like I can spend an entire day just doing that.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good question. I felt I didn't even feel that way. I experienced the exact same thing when I started on blogs. I think you get so in your head about content when you first get started
Yeah, it's
that
true.
you're like stressed out about making it perfect and styling it. Honestly, now, so I went from that, it would take me 1 or 2 days to get a blog post done. And it's like so unnecessary. To now, it takes me maybe 20 minutes. Literally, I was just talking to a coaching client I think it was actually earlier this week, about our content creation process from ideation, so from the idea all the way through publishing. And I was telling her that I'm going to be sharing this, like the 3 hour content week in this workshop because, and that's a play off Tim Ferriss's The 4 Hour Work Week, if you didn't know. It's just funny. But it takes me now, we have it so dialed in to where I
Mm,
actually can record a YouTube video. Then I will actually create the podcast version of that video, edit, publish that, and then write the blog post in less than 3 hours. So
yeah.
it took me about 20 minutes
You
to
do the video
record.
before the blog? I do the blog first.
I know you do the blog first, and sometimes I
Yeah.
will do that. It
Uh-huh.
depends on the style. If it's going to be a
True.
tutorial video, where I'm
Mm,
showing the screen, I
true.
like having the video first because then the
Yeah.
team can go in and do screenshots and then they will style it that way, you
Right.
know? But if I'm going to be presenting a whole new idea, I will start with the blog post first. Yes,
Right.
you're right.
Yeah.
So, I don't like taking too long doing the blog. So I will, um, as long as you know what you're talking about, it takes a lot less time and that takes skill, right? So start what can shorten that time frame is having templates. I talk to you guys about this all the time on stories on Instagram. If you're not following me there, please do. But templates are such a game changer. So I have a template for everything, especially when you're writing. Having some prompts that can help you write faster is super, super helpful. And then there's a
Yeah.
million other things you can use, right? Like now there's AI assistants and all these
Exactly.
copywriting
Yep.
tools that help you do it faster.
Yeah, I think that's you said prompts. I think ChatGPT is the perfect way to
Hmm.
just, man, I don't know what to write about. Okay, like prompt it. Don't have it write the whole thing for you.
Right.
That's not our recommendation, anyways, because we don't know the long term of this whole thing. Like
Yeah,
it could be like, no, it's not going to rank because it's not.
absolutely.
Or I
Original.
think one of the recent things that came out was that it's not technically going to be it's going to be public domain. Nobody owns it, right? Because it was
Yeah,
created,
it's not
right?
copyrightable.
But duplicate content, there's a lot of questions that are unanswered around AI and ChatGPT
Yeah,
specifically. But if you're looking to have it give you ideas and to kind of prompt you, that's a fantastic use. So I'm glad you brought up prompts because that's a really effective way to write and come up with blogs faster.
for sure. And then just practice and give yourself some grace, right? We all start there, just kind of going through that process. You'll get faster and faster with each one.
Yeah. Okay. Next is an Instagram question. So to auto save Instagram posts to Trello, like so if you're
Mm-hmm.
planning your content calendar,
Mm-hmm.
you're bored out, what have you. Do you have to have Zapier or other automation programs, or does Trello have the ability to do it on its own?
Okay. So I think this is coming from the recent content bank tutorial that I
I think
did.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. So this one is where I'm teaching you guys like how to actually save your posts so that you can reuse them on a tool like Trello or Evernote. Yes, Trello does not have the ability of doing that. It's kind of a hack because Trello is a project management, task management tool, not a content tool. So
Mhm.
what you want to do is you want to add IFTTT or Zapier or a similar tool, because there's many, that can help you basically be a bridge between those two tools that you're trying to connect. So Instagram
Yeah,
and Trello. So yes, you do need something like Zapier.
cool. Okay, staying in the lane of content, we'll get to a few more here.
Cool.
Um, the one reason I have or excuse me, the one reason I haven't created a content calendar, this is probably from one of the content calendar videos,
Mhm.
is I spend so much time adding content I don't actually schedule. So apparently there's a way to schedule or automate scheduling of content posts to our social media platforms, question mark. I am currently using Tailwind. So do you
Okay.
know if there's a way for me to create a calendar and then schedule to post from the calendar to Tailwind?
Yes. Okay. So, such a good question. First of all, can totally relate. Um, if you're spending all your time creating the content calendar and then not scheduling it, oh my
Yeah, it's kind
gosh,
of pointless,
we have a
right?
problem, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's so funny.
yeah, it is. Yeah. So, love Tailwind. It's a great tool. Another tool you can consider is CoSchedule, which is an actual calendar
Yeah.
tool that lets you create and plan your content and also publishes it for you. So we have a couple of tutorials on the channel. If you just go into the YouTube search bar, type Kimberly Ann Jimenez or Kim Jimenez, and then CoSchedule, and you'll see the tutorial there. I love that tool. It's fantastic. But you could also turn your Trello board into an automatic scheduler for a Tailwind. So that's a more advanced thing. We have a specific tutorial for that inside of the content calendar system course for those of you guys who are in that program, because it is a lot more techy. So basically, you're just kind of hacking the system together. But I think what a much easier thing would be for you to do is to just plan your posts inside of Tailwind, or have the
Mm,
calendar just be prompts or placeholders for the actual content. So, for example, you could say, okay, so I know that on Instagram, I'm going to be creating feed posts 4 times a week, and 3 of those are going to be reels. Here are the topics for those reels, and I'm just going to write that down in the calendar as a placeholder. I'm not going to plan it. I'm not going to necessarily put together all the pieces for it, have the caption. I'm just going to have that as a placeholder. And so then you have your calendar open with the placeholders, and then you have your scheduling tool, right? 2 of those, and you're going back and forth and you're referencing, okay, so Monday I have here on Instagram, I'm going to post a reel about this. Okay, cool, let me write that caption, let me record that real quick, and if you want to batch your reels in advance, that's ideal. I don't recommend just like batch writing everything in sequential order, but that's a little bit more advanced and we can talk about that later. But just having it as a reference. So, boom,
yeah.
here's my calendar. This is what I'm going to post on what platforms, how often. And then here is the actual scheduler. I'm going to load all my content in there instead.
Yeah. And then Instagram had to go and be difficult and now let you do
I know.
automatic posts.
I know. I know. I know.
Still to this day. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. No, fun. All right.
Okay.
Do you have one more?
Yeah. Well, two more actually.
2 more. Okay. Let's
Okay.
do it.
For long form content, after one piece / card is done, how do I avoid content that you created before?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I mean how to not have duplicate content if you already have so many published blogs. Thanks.
Oh, talking about blogs. Okay, okay, okay. Um, this is a great question. So if you've already created a content piece, a blog post around that
Yeah,
topic,
yeah, yeah.
refresh the blog post instead of republishing a new blog post.
Exactly.
Right. So if you have a blog post about the top 15 fall vegetables to plant in your garden this September, you do not need to repost that same content piece on a
Right.
different blog post because you want, so just refresh and update it. That's the difference between YouTube, a podcast, and a blog. With
Right.
YouTube, you do want to create the same content, the same exact topic. YouTube likes that because it's new and updated. um Podcast, you can do that too because people haven't listened to, that one time you talked about that season 4 episode 13, and now you're on season 15. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you can always reuse and talk about the same things. You don't want to do that with the exact same keywords, the
On your
exact
site.
same topic on your website.
Yeah.
Instead, refresh it and keep it updated. Like, we have a content calendar blog post from 10 years ago that
Yeah.
we keep updated.
You can also get this is more of a pro tip, right? So if you are concerned about that, you can go more longer tail on the keyword,
True.
meaning you could say best, I don't know what Kim just said, best vegetables to plant for 2023, right? Like you could, or like if you live in a dry climate,
Yeah.
right? Like, so you can expand upon the core idea of what you're writing about.
Mhm.
And then you're going to, obviously, you're not going to just duplicate the content over. It can't be the same blog content. It has to be specific for that. But you can, if there's like nuance or niches within that topic, then you can utilize that on your website and you won't get pinged for duplicate content in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a really good tip. I'm
But
so glad you
I
added
think
that.
part of what she was asking was the essence of it's like, how do you know inside of what you've created that you're not going to accidentally create the same thing over again because you forgot that you did it because you
Mm,
archived it on your Trello
that's
board.
a
You see what I'm
great
saying?
idea. Yeah, that's a great
I think
question.
that's what she was asking
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
because it's like if I
So,
have so many published, how do I
yeah,
remember that I published that to
right.
begin with?
So on Trello, what you would do is you would move it to your published list, right? So ideally, you're starting from the time you have started your content creation journey. And so
Yeah.
now you have a record of all the published pieces because they're on that list, all the way, over to the right side of the screen. And so you can search for keywords in Trello and see if a card pops up, meaning you would know if you actually have a content piece around that specific topic. The other thing I do all the time, and this is funny, now we don't have to because Brian, who's our CTO, he's my brother, and he also runs all of our dev in our company. And he installed a search bar on our blog, thank goodness, something I wanted him to do for a long time. So I can search our website and find if I already talked about that topic. But that happens to me all the time. Like literally the last video we uploaded on um, just how frequently should you be posting on social media? I get that question constantly from you guys, and it was time to update that video. I don't think I'd created a video for that in like 5 or 6 years, and so
Mm,
I was about to write a new blog post, and then I stopped and searched our website and I realized I already had a blog post on the exact same
yeah.
topic. So instead I just sent it to our content manager, said, hey, swap the video, let's refresh the blog, make sure that it's up to date, and then have it, linked in the video. So one of the things you want to do is you can search for Google yourself and the topic and it should
Yeah.
show up.
When you're doing your content planning as well, sometimes what I'll do is I'll make a long list of all of the different keyword ideas that I have and topics that I have. And then when we've written that, I change the color, right? So
Oh
I'll change
yes,
the
that's
background color to
good.
like green or something.
Hmm.
And then that way, I can see what we've written versus what we haven't. And that way you're not just writing on the fly. You've got a list that's like 100, topics long that you're going to cover, and so maybe one does well, and then eventually you can have a VA like put in the performance, right, and other columns of how well that blog performed. So to kind of create more in that same line of thinking.
Mm.
So that's an opportunity as well, is to just keep an ongoing Google sheet, and just do your research there anyways, because you should be planning. You shouldn't just be writing for the sake of writing. Like before you're organizing with Trello, you should be kind of researching and coming up with ideas and kind of documenting those on something like a Google sheet. So that might be something you do as well. That's something that I've done that kind of helps prevent that from happening.
Sweet. Love it.
Okay.
All right.
Last one. Have you tried Cloud Campaign for creating a content calendar, client approvals, and scheduling?
I have not. That's not, it's not a tool that's on my radar. But let
You
me
can't end on
Google
that
it
one
real.
then.
um, you know what? That sounds like a beginning of a pitch.
It kind of does. Like, oh, well, we would
um,
love to sponsor one of your
yeah, I
videos to
know,
blah,
I
blah,
know.
blah.
But it looks cool, actually. I'm on the homepage. It actually looks legit. That's
There you go.
awesome.
You got some free publicity. There you go.
There you go. Boom. It looks like it integrates with Canva. That's nice.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a we'll see them in the DMs later
I
situation for
know.
sure.
That's cool. I have not tried it, but it does look like a really cool tool and something I would be open to exploring. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
All
Okay, well, we
right.
can't end on that one. So let's end on this one.
Yeah, one more.
Okay, this is a Canva related question.
Okay.
Can you change a template on a saved project without starting over? For example, design a Facebook cover photo,
Mm-hmm.
then move the finished product onto the Instagram template. So if they're wanting to create multiple versions, and I know that's a big deal now, right? You're creating
Yeah.
from platforms.
Yes.
So can you change the template on a saved project for the different variations that you want that specific design on Canva?
Okay. I think I'm understanding this correctly.
I understand it
Um,
if you don't fully because I'm reading
yes.
it, so I can answer if
Yes.
you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what you would wanna do is create your design, right? And then on Canva, you're gonna go to I'm actually gonna go so I can tell you exactly step by step what to do here. So I have one pulled up. So what I would do then
Do you want to
is
show your
at the
screen?
top, you go to File, right? So you've got your design, it looks all fancy pants. Then on the top I'm sorry, you go to resize, right? Then you're gonna pick whatever you want, and they have some already drafted up for you, right? So it'll say like infographic, desktop wallpaper, and allows you to search in what you're looking for. So if you're like Facebook cover, right? Boom, pops up 1640 by 924. I would click that. I would hit continue, and then you would say resize existing design without creating a copy. So you would not select that option. So you want it to make a copy, right? So it will give you the option, hey, we'll resize it for you and keep your current design, or we'll take the current design and make a new copy with that said design that you've already created. So that's the one you want to select. It comes unselected, so it will by default create a copy for you, and then you would just hit resize to a Facebook cover and then boom, you're donezo. So that's what you want to do. And then that way you can create it in multiple variations. And then the cool thing is that once you have those saved templates, well, I get what you're trying to do, right? Because you're trying to create it once and then adapt it for the others and not have to create it 3 times. So I would actually continue to just do that. But if you wanted to have those templates already themed out, then you would have those already, custom done and you can like put them in a folder on Canva so here's my Facebook, cover arts are, here's where my Instagram reels are, right? So you can keep them kind of organized that way. So in any case, whatever you decide to do, that's fine. But that's how you do it. So it's resize, pick the style you want, do not select the version to resize the image without making a copy. Boom, you're done.
Sweet. All right. So I think we did it, Chris. It's been um, quite a bunch of questions answered. I think we have a couple more. Maybe we'll do this again. So, guys, if you're watching on the replay or you're here live, thank you so much. Leave your questions below. I'd love to answer them in a future video and kind of get that rolling. So, Chris, if you don't have anything else to share, I just want to remind you guys come hang out with us on the Content to Customers workshop starting next Tuesday.
Yeah, I just dropped it
We're
again.
sweet. We're going Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be super fun. 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and there will be replays if you can't show up live. I'm
Yeah.
excited to connect with you guys, excited to hear some of the upcoming questions that you might have. We have a ton of cool content planned for the channel coming up as well. So, some really cool tutorials, answering a lot of your content questions, and then also kind of transitioning into some business Q&As and talking about, what does it take to actually build a profitable business in 2023. So, love you
Ooh.
guys, appreciate you, and we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.
See you guys.